Alright guys, welcome back. It's your buddy Brendan here. This is basically a garbage bin game that I pulled out. Um, I always, I always love the Spawn comics, and the problem with Spawn has always had is the games are terrible. This is no exception. Okay, there's no real options I can do here. I was looking for difficulty and stuff like that. Straight up difficulty. I'm gonna take this project on, and that's what I do for you guys. I'm just gonna suffer. So you notice the graphics and everything look really cool. We'll start the game while I'm talking. Um, but I've always loved Spawn. Definitely, I'm not a comic book guy per se. I've liked the standard Batman like Alan Moore's Killing Joke and some of the really old Batmans. Like the I'm trying to figure out like the collection stuff that they released from the original ones. It's just kind of cool piece of Americana. But Spawn was one of the first really big characters that I liked a lot. They actually used to sell these toys at Toys R Us, and my parents would get it. My dad would let me get it because like he wouldn't know, about Spawn, and they always came with a comic book. So when I was like 9, I'm getting like these comic books. And Spawn comic books, if you're not familiar, are very graphic. Definitely adult comics, but it's just kind of amazing that they sold McFarlane stuff like that at Toys R Us. Okay, so let's figure out the buttons here. Okay, I can block, punch, kick. Okay, we can do a slide. This jump's going to be a problem. This is so delayed. I got this. Hey! Oh, pardon me. Coming off the sinus infection like everybody else. But it's your standard beat 'em up here. Nothing too crazy, except the controls are ass. They're ass. They're terrible. You can't hit anybody without being hit most of the time. In your jump, you actually have to hold the jump to see how high you can go, so if you tap it or jump up. The problem is it's so delayed and floaty, like you cannot react to anything. Like this guy's gonna, thought it'd be a problem. But definitely your jump attacks are where it's at here. Okay, I decided to shoot at the wall. The design on this game is so bad. I mean, sure, I like the Spawn comics. You want to use the chains? There you go. That's what you got. That's your chains. That's your chains. You want to do the cool Spawn glide? Just get punched right on out of it because it's useless. Look at that little slap attack. There's a heavy and light of each punch and kick. Oh, look at that. Look at that animation. Look at it just going to town there. He does walk like a badass. I guess he'd have to, right? You can't do anything else. You can block, but check this out. Look how much chip damage this takes. I mean, even from a fighting game standpoint, like Street Fighter doesn't have that much chip damage. This is a beat 'em up. I mean, the graphics in this, the character models are cool if it was like 1 or 2 character models. But like, all your enemies are pretty much, your enemies all look the same. He controls so sluggishly. And this game is actually way harder than it should be. Like, it's not, it's not like hard in a traditional sense. Ooh, like I said, I have to get a drink, but it's hard because it's unfair. So like, let's watch, this is our first boss battle. So I hit him, and then he just clobbers me. So I gotta find a way to get out, but like, you can't jump out because you float. Now, there's basically unlimited continues in this. I think your continues are regulated by the Doomsday Clock. If you're familiar with the Spawn comics, it's coming close to Doomsday. I guess I should fill anybody that's not familiar with this in, is because we're not gonna. The game storyline is awful. I just died there. Okay, we can. I don't know what level selection is. I'm not gonna mess with it. basically Spawn is dead. In his life, he was a government agent and he was an assassin. He was set up. He was assassin for the U.S. government and was set up to die. Basically, they wanted to get rid of him. So when he dies, he goes to hell because he killed a bunch of people. See, look at this. The only option I have is this like Street Fighter Dawson move. But when he dies, he goes to hell, and the devil there is named. He's not named the devil or Satan. It's named Malbolgia, and he brings him. He kind of separates him because hell is gonna fight heaven. There's a coin for life. I don't know. But heaven and hell are gonna have this big battle, and he wants Spawn to be a general for hell. So Spawn basically sells his soul to come back and see his family. He gets to come back and see his family, but in return, he's got to be Hell's general. And so he realizes he's been tricked when he comes back to his family, and it's been years past where nobody can recognize him. You know, he's distorted. He comes out originally burnt, and his wife has married his best friend, and it's been years since he's died, and they're all living a happy life. Everybody's living a happy life without him. So he basically lives with the hobos on the streets and decides to fight back against having to repay his debt because he's been had. And then so you're basically fighting Hell's armies that's trying to get you to capture you to go back on their side or just kill you for being a traitor. And then there's all kinds of other nuances to the comics, but that's the basic story. I haven't read all the comics. There's a ton. I probably read like a lot of the originals. Like I haven't read a lot of. There's all kinds of extra stuff. Like any comic, you have like all these different variations and worlds. I haven't read all those. But that's basically it. And it's always been a cool character. He's a dark character. He's like invincible to bullets, except in this game. And he's very agile, except in this game. He has a lot of weapons. He uses a lot of guns, except in this game. And you see a theme here. Because you're stuck to just a few attacks. He can do some magic. But I don't think you can in here. Maybe. I think there's one special attack you can do. I don't know how to do it consistently. There you go, I did it. What is that doing? It just dances, beam of light dances around him. But basically, the clock, it's in the comics too, is when it ticks down, that's when the Doomsday War between Heaven and Hell will be fought. So that basically sets it up. I can't imagine how well the game's going to tell a story, but it's probably not going to be good. I think they're just cramming in like villains from the comics. One of the main villains from the comics is actually it's a little interesting because it's the guy's name is Kincaid. I believe we see him a little bit. I haven't gotten very far in this game, but you do see Kincaid, and he's a child killer that drives around in an ice cream truck and picks up kids and he dresses as a clown. So it's basically John Wayne Gacy in the comics, and then Spawn punishes him. And his dad's a senator that tries to protect them. But that's basically when Spawn starts to do he's like a good guy from hell. I always thought that was a cool concept. Of course, it's one of those concepts that if my parents, knew what I was reading, they'd be like, no, you're like 9. Because there's pretty horrific scenes in the comics. Probably a lot of stuff that I didn't even get as a kid, looking back, if you don't know what cocaine and hookers and stuff like that are, you won't get it. But they used to sell these at Toys R Us, and they came with the comic book. So I used to get some of the toys. I think eventually my mom found them and was like, no. But I don't know. Or I just lost interest because that's what kids do, McFarlane toys are still being made. They're more collector's items. He does a lot of artistic concept stuff. He has a Tortured Soul series and some other good series. I don't collect action figures or toys, so I'm not really into it. But I know some of the stuff is pretty highly collectible. It's definitely cool. Like, if I was a toy collecting kind of guy, I would be into it. This is awful. Okay, so this thing is gonna follow me back to the game. I'm going off topic. Anyway, I want to punish myself to play a Spawn game because I love the character so much, but his games have just never been good. So this is a bargain bin jobber picked up, and it's not good. This game is total ass, from the controls to the level layout to whatever is going on here. Because these wall jumps are so awful. You cannot do anything until he changes the animation. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so you can't block in the air or anything. And there's knockback. Well, this is just poopy on a stick. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is bad. You cannot control this. I mean, when you see wall jumps, yeah, this is not like a Mega Man wall jump. It's hard to explain, but you have to like ride the wall, like until you once you see that animation change, it's like when you're good to go. So help you God if that animation doesn't change. Oh my gosh. This is a good highlight of what I mean by hard but unfair. Like, I know what I have to do, and if the controls were decent, that would be fine. But there's definitely, your jump is delayed, it's a floaty, you have a floaty, delayed jump, and you don't cover, like, dodging space. So, what I mean by that is, like, when you do your, like, jumps off the wall, you know, your character model is so big that you can't get around that stuff. There, we made it. We made it. So let's do a very boring elevator sequence, I think. Every beat 'em up has to have an elevator, right? Oh, this just spaz out. I don't get it. Like, look at his punch. Okay, so I'm mashing his light punch. You just do. Now kick. He just goes into like bad kung fu guy. And this game is awful. One of his, Spawn trademark, if you're familiar with it, is definitely the chains. You know, you can spawn like all kinds of chains and stuff. So they wanted to add that to the game with this. This is your only thing you got going on there. They put in like a Street Fighter Dawson jump, but they didn't add like special attacks. There's no special meter, there's no special bar, there's no upgrades, there's no reason to play, basically. I love the knife guys that watch this. Look at his animation. It looks bad. Like he's just reaching for you, like, oh. It's bad. I don't know how much this game I'm gonna play, so I don't know how much it's gonna get boring to watch. I have a feeling it's gonna be kind of repetitive. But, okay, so there's guys with guns. Where'd he go? Is the guy with the guy on the right, is he dead? I have a feeling he's gonna come back. I don't know if it's the same guy or not. The character models aren't terrible, and I said that before, but like, they need more than like 3. Okay, they've got like 3 character guy models. There's just a lot of twins that work for the bad guys. I don't even know who the bad guys really are right now, like who's hunting Spawn. Like, but whatever, who really cares, right? Some of the comic book drawings in it are good. I like that. That's Cyan, so that's his daughter. I don't know how the game storyline catches on. I just explain the comic version and we'll get over it from there. I remember this dude. This is one of those complete and total bullshit bosses. Look, I can block. Look how much health that takes. Yeah, it doesn't look like a lot, but like for chip damage? For chip damage. Good. We're just walking. Walking. Oh, look how much that takes. Can I block? No. Can't block that beam of doom. This is a ridiculous boss. It's so anticlimactic too. There's no build up to it. Like they don't like introduce him or anything. It's just they might in the cutscenes, but who wants to watch like a little other than the art style? Plus, there was actually no dialogue. I don't think it was just kind of. I don't think I skipped that part. Maybe there was. I don't know. Do you really care? I don't really care. This game definitely belongs in the bargain bin. This is just awful. Oh jeez. Like, how are you supposed to? Okay, so I have to jump it. I have to time my jump right. And I get one punch. You have to time your jump exactly, and you get one punch. This is what I mean. Like, this game isn't hard because it's fair, okay? Like, it's not hard because you have to learn a pattern, right? Like, I know the pattern. I mean, sure, there's no excuse then if you get hit by it, but it's pretty easy to figure out the pattern, right? Like, he just shoots it over and over. They just make you do the same thing. It's like it plays off your boredom. You know, like you just get lazy after the first like 5 or 6 lasers. I haven't gotten that far. I'm exaggerating. It feels like I've done 30,000 of these. Yeah, it's like one small execution mistake and you're done. But it's not like there's any leeway. Because not only that, your jump is so floaty. You have no room to maneuver. You can't jump off a wall that's not there. You can't, like, you just don't feel like you're being outplayed. You feel like they're able to do so much more. Like, the enemy has so much more than you can do. It's not like, for example, Contra, right? Where giant enemies, mass scale battles. But you have room to dodge. You have room to maneuver, strategize. There's no strategy here. Yeah, like, there's no strategy. Other than jump at a perfect, like almost exact perfect time, and then punch him once. I'm gonna get hit. Because I mean, the laser, like, it doesn't even look like it's formed yet, right? I mean, so there's no real indication of like, oh well, this is hitting me now, because the laser's already looks like it's starting, but there's no like, you know, like a secondary blast or something to let you know that, hey, it's coming out. It's like it knows eventually you're gonna just get bored. Like that. Like, I hit a few buttons by accident when I was talking. So this is just bullcrap. I'm gonna try one more time. But I want to point out, I'm gonna hit him. I remember this from before. So let's see what happens, like, maybe you can hit him here and take a bunch of health down. So I'm hitting him every chance that I get. With the strong punch, not the weak one. What the heck was that? And how do I do that again? Oh, cool! You can shuriken. So look, he refills his health completely. So that whole sequence, if you hit him or not, it doesn't matter. I don't get a health refill. Yep, hit my tail, hit my foot. Giant beam, giant character model, giant hitbox. Minimal strategy, and basically, whether you beat him or not comes down to like repetition. That's it. How exciting, right? Doesn't test your mental skill or your reflexes, really. Just your ability to do a mundane task over and over and over. And look how many hits this is taking. I mean, this isn't a small amount of punches. I tried to Man. I've got no words right now. This is... Why am I even punching him? He's gonna refill his health anyway. So, like, if he refills his health, then there's no real point to this part, right? You can just hold the block button and block. Because your life doesn't matter. He kills you in, like... He kills you in, like, 2 hits, okay? And you can't block this. Like, I know last time I was low on health. You're thinking, well, maybe I just got chipped out by a little bit. No, you cannot. You cannot block it. You just have to do this mundane task over and over and over and over. Why, Spawn? Why such a cool, badass superhero? Superhero slash supervillain, and you just get the snot kicked out of you by bad controls. I mean, everything about this game is sluggish. It's just like playing a molasses. I mean, who wants to play an overpowered, awesome superhero character in just a molasses environment? You know, basically, like, it'd be like playing a Superman game where, like, Superman was just hungover. Like, better rescue Lois. God, it's bright outside. I'm only like 50% today. Okay, this is where I'm cutting this video. This game is total bullshit. If I do a series, I want to do the beginning, just to highlight how terrible this is and not do any real cuts or editing. I'm probably going to go ahead and play through the whole game, for your amusement, because, what can I say, I'm a glutton for punishment. But, definitely, it's going to be chopped up and truncated, so nobody has to sit through and suffer. I'm the only one that has to suffer. But, plus my voice, I apologize. Oof. So, you'll probably see a full playthrough, beginning to end, truncated, probably cut down to like 15-20 minutes. But I just wanted to highlight, this is going to be something I'm going to do, you know. Is it a classic, or does it deserve the bargain bin? And this does. The controls in this are terrible. There's only like 3 types of enemies, and you lose because you just can't, if you're a couple seconds off from doing, not even a couple seconds, if you're half a second off from doing the mundane task over and over again, it'd be like, oh, get something to drink here. It'd be like playing Street Fighter, and if you let the person get one combo, you're dead. You know, if you mess up once, you know, screw you, complete frustration. I'm assuming, I noticed the clock went down every time I continued, so I'm assuming once that goes down, it's game over. The dog is scratching herself in the background, so. But I am going to cut, let my voice rest, but I appreciate you guys watching, and look for more videos to come.